have a second chance.
Sometimes dead is better.
We are living in the golden age of Stephen King adaptations. Yeah, there were some beauties in the 80s and 90s, but let's face it, we have reached a point where sensibilities and effects are ready for King's twisted mind like never before, and we are reaping the benefits. Which is why it's so exciting to be staring down new adaptations of some of his best work, like Pet Sematary. The story follows the Creed family, transplanted from the bustle of Boston to rural Maine, where Lewis has accepted a position with the university's health service and find themselves living on a road that's been known to use up animals. Forming fast friends with their neighbor, Judd Crandall, who introduces them to a pet cemetery that lurks in the woods behind their home. When tragedy strikes the Creed family, Judd presents a solution that unleashes an unfathomable evil. Now, most of us are familiar with the story and are following along, but it's at this point the new adaptation takes a major pivot from what we all know. It's in the trailer, so if you've seen that, you know what's coming. But I'm gonna say spoiler alert anyway, just to be safe. So yeah, spoiler alert. Okay, are we good? It's safe? All right, here we go. In this version of the story, it's not Gage, the Creed's toddler, who was killed and brought back by the powers of the cemetery. It's their daughter, Ellie. This has stirred up a lot of debate and chatter online. Yeah, it's a big departure as far as fans are concerned, but the filmmakers had reasons for their choice. There's stuff in the book that you just can't get out of a 3-year-old, both in terms of performance, but also as a reaction when you see a kid that small do it. And the big thing is, even though she's older than Gage, Ellie is still a child, and making it the older child works for a number of reasons and also gives the ability to build story and relationships in ways that you just couldn't get out of such a young actor. Having it happen to Ellie allows the character to develop in ways that you just can't have happen in a film with Gage, a toddler, which makes the consequences have more weight. And beyond the character development and interactions, it also saves the audience from seeing an animatronic doll or CGI toddler running around, which, let's face it, grounds the story a bit and ramps up the scare factor. All in all, I am firmly rooted in the camp who is on board for this change, and think it allows us to get more scares and visceral reactions that King's book carries. This brings us back to being in the golden age of King. The adaptations we got of King's works in the 80s were great, but a lot of them were practically run off an assembly line. Here, we're seeing filmmakers adapt the work to their medium and find ways to present the story while still maintaining King's intentions. From what I've seen so far, this new adaptation of Pet Sematary will deliver a frightening film that lives up to the belief that it's some of King's scariest work. You can decide for yourself this week. Pet Sematary is in theaters on April 5th. So what do you think of the big change? What King film do you want to see readapted? Let us know in the comments, and remember, Fright Hype and Crypt TV are all over the internet. Until next time, keep the horror on the screen and off the streets. I'll see you then.
Watch new vids every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, only on Crypt TV.